Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy GN Invasion.
This is Power Trick. How you guys doing?
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of stuff has been going on. The biggest one is going to be EVO and its controversies, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We want to talk about more of the hype stuff first. And we got a few little, side subjects that we're going to talk about also. Some of them being a few little reviews of games we've been playing. Yeah. But how's your week? Past few weekends?
Besides working, yes, people can see my shirt. I don't really give it much crap. I'm wearing a loud shirt. Who cares about that?
Yeah, we got to turn down the brightness on it.
Yes, I'm wearing a loud shirt. Yes, I can see it. But besides work, just playing games and just basically saving up money so I could get more equipment for the podcast eventually.
Yeah, okay. With me, same old. Playing games. Surprisingly, I haven't been diving into the multitude of diverse games like I normally do because I'm always looking for indies and free-to-play games. But I have been playing a few. I've been watching anime, but it's not going to be for this podcast, probably be for a different one. And I've been going back into watching my manhwas on YouTube, and then some of the animes that I've read manhwas for in the past, I've actually been re-reviewing. But again, that'll be for another one. So you want to get into some of the side ones, or you want to get into the main subject first?
Let's start with the
meat and potatoes?
Yeah.
All right, so EVO. Now, we was talking about a little bit of this on the side. We got a Patreon coming soon where we're going to be doing all our little, I guess, spoofs and reels or whatever else. So definitely take a look at it on that. But what would be considered your two favorite highlights of EVO in all? Did you watch all of EVO?
I watched most of it. I haven't watched
So give me your two.
First, I would say the first one, Punk finally got his redemption.
Okay. Wait, not a highlight. I'm talking about EVO. Like, watching it. Like, not just a person. Like, talking about, grand finals or something like that.
Grand finals of Street Fighter 6, obviously. And I got it, besides Tekken, Guilty Gear, the grand finals of Guilty Gear, I haven't played much Guilty Gear, but I thoroughly enjoyed that grand finals. It was actually pretty dope.
So those are your two highlights.
That and I have so many more.
Street Fighter. I said two. Don't be greedy. So for me, since you already mentioned Street Fighter 6, I'm actually going to say Tekken 8. I don't watch a lot of Tekken, but man, in the words of Tasty Steve, that is some good ass Tekken. So that's my number one, and my number two is actually off to the side. Even though I am a Marvel player by heart, I actually enjoyed the Hunter x Hunter and then Impact exhibition because we got a chance to actually see some high level players, mainly that come from Marvel, or in a variety of games, actually play that game and test out a lot of characters, a lot of repeats. But it was thorough. So those are actually my main two. But like you, I have multiple. But those are the two that kind of stood out heavy for me. But in general, I think you're the one that told me that Tekken 8 was supposed to be like the grand one for this year, and it still ended up being Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it still ended up because CEO, which happened a month before EVO, their main event was Tekken 8. And then, but EVO, still to this day, says it's Street Fighter 6, and I believe the reason why is because of how many people competed for Street Fighter compared to Tekken numbers.
Oh yeah, I think there was it like somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 difference in the amount of people? Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the reason why it won.
Well, yeah, there could be another reason. the barrier to entry to Street Fighter 6, even with its complexities, is still easier to get into than Tekken. Even though a lot of people like Tekken.
Yeah.
That like, to be totally honest, so I think Street Fighter will always have more attendees than Tekken.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna call that out. The day that Tekken gets more entries than Street Fighter, I will be shocked, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen either. And I think the reason why CEO did it is because like they want to, because it's brand new.
Yeah.
It just came out recently, so like they want to kind of like promote it even to even bigger.
But this was the first major to actually host Bison, right?
Yeah.
Because CEO didn't allow Bison. No, Frosty Fausting is allowed Akuma. CEO didn't allow Bison, right?
Yes, yeah, they didn't allow Bison.
Yeah, and this one was Bison.
Okay. They allowed Bison in this one. But surprisingly, Bison wasn't really put in the top 8. There wasn't a lot of Bison characters. Top 8 and top 16, there was no many Bisons.
Did anybody technically Angry Bird play Bison? But I think when it got down to top 24 or even top 16, I think he just stuck with Rashid.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait, what did Angry Bird play? Wait, no, Angry Bird was what?
Big Bird. I thought Big Bird was Rashid. What was the Angry Bird that played was Rashid? That was one of the birds. We'll just say.
Well, all we know is the Rashid player, which I believe is Big Bird.
It's one of the birds. It ain't. I'll say.
Pause is all the way around on this particular conversation, guys.
Yeah.
But no. It ended up being a Street Fighter 6 top 6, really good. I believe they said Mena was either top 16 or not. Oh, I think it was 16, right?
Yeah, he was in the top 16,
which was actually surprising. But I tried looking at EVO's brackets to see like who he was going up against, and let's be totally honest. If you're in the top, can we be fair and say if you're in the top 100 of Street Fighter 6, you're most likely a killer. The ones that normally go out. So a multitude of these can be upsets, but then you have those golden people that's in that top 20. Which we already know a lot of people can probably spill out their first top 10 over top 20, but a lot of people have the ability to make it there. It just depends on your mental fortitude and everything else. So, but since you had already said it before, we're going to give shout outs to Punk. Punk plays one of my favorite characters. Might as well call her a waifu at this point, which I love me some Cammy. I wish Karen was in the game. Sakura, Rose. I do like Manat, so they do have some other characters. I'm hoping for the Lifeblood Street Fighter 6 as it goes out will go in, because hopefully they can make this like an ultimate type of one where they just keep putting out DLC, because this game is a live service game.
Yeah, and I also say this, I'm like, as a Rashid main, I am very proud of, I don't know if it was Angry Bird or Big Bird, I don't even much care, but we'll just call him Bird anyway.
Oh Lord.
Bird, when he did Rashid, I was so happy. But after the tier list, they made Rashid kind of busted at that point. He kind of made him busted, and people were saying, oh, after Punk won with Cammy, people saying that Cammy need to be nerfed. I told them Cammy does not need to be nerfed, because she's a powerful character, but she's difficult to use. Yeah,
Cammy can't be nerfed for the biggest. So here's the thing, right? And I'm going to say this straight up. I'm a competent. Big Bird.
Big Bird. There you go.
I'm a competent fighting game player, but I love my crack speed. I'm all about the scramble, which is the neutral, versus you playing footsies like Street Fighter 6. Sometimes I'll get bored and tired of that. But Cammy doesn't have a fireball.
No, she doesn't.
And she has to get in on everything, so you have to have footsies and everything else to play the character. Now, depending on your reaction times, your spacing awareness and everything else, Punk is the best when it comes down to playing with that character. And I want y'all to think about what I'm saying. Punk is the best when it comes down to playing with that character. Oh, but he's the EVO champ. He's run second. I got first. Exactly. So nobody on God's green earth, or at least I'll just say in the NA, because Punk's NA is probably as good as him when it comes down to Cammy. How you gonna nurse somebody that's bare bone? So, Rashid has fireballs that go different areas, has DPs that go different areas, has the double jump, technically has an install, and he can jump cancel after doing certain things. He has more tools than Cammy. So,
and his Desert Storm is busted.
Isn't that the tornado?
Yeah, the tornado.
I called it an install because it pretty much is one at this point.
If you try to go in one direction, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the other side."
That was crazy. I didn't know he could kick it backwards.
He could.
So that was the first time I seen that.
I was like, he kicked it backwards and all that. Because when I was practicing against the AI for Street Fighter, when it went to the other way, I said, you know what? Let me kick it the other way. It actually connected, and I managed to do a combo.
Yeah, but at the end of the but here's the only difference is, if I'm correct, Rashid has somewhat stubbier normals than Cammy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, both of those characters, even though Rashid has a better toolkit, Cammy is straight get good scrub. If you want to play with Cammy, you have to know how to play Street Fighter to a very good degree. You have to understand spacing very well. So they can't nerf her because of the way that.
And they can't nerf Bison either. People were saying, "Oh, I see a lot of comments they say they need." I say they do not need to nerf Bison. So, he's one of the worst defensive characters.
Well, yeah, he is. Because apparently he doesn't really have a reversal or whatever else.
Oh.
But me and Soul, shout out to Soul. We actually talked about this, and a lot of people were complaining about his damage because he's a two-touch. So I asked, hey, what is most people's damage output like for optimal combos? And it was just like 2.1 to like 2.5. And I was just like, okay. So a lot of people was mainly worried about the damage because that double hit into that bomb apparently is unscaled damage. I said, okay, well, you keep his combos so that you don't have to worry about frame rates so much, and just scale the damage down, I said, to like 17%. If you scale the damage of the combos or the damage to 17%, that would put it in line being around like 2.3 to 2.6 combos, if we're talking about from beginning to end. And then at the end of the day, it's not even truly a two-touch, because you first got to do a combo to go into that ball to begin with to cause all of that. So you're not starting the character at 100% anyway. So I said, okay, let's do it the easiest one, right? Jump in or counter hit into an extra hit into the 2 hit. So a 4-hit combo to go into that. You done already took somewhere probably around 15 to 25% off the person's life.
Yep.
So out of 1,000, you're left with like 750 to 800. So what are we talking about? So
I'm like, that's it. So at the end, I said, Bison does not need to be. If you want to do something, he needs to be buffed on his defenses.
You can't do that because the defenses are universal toolkits. The rest of that goes down to how you having to block high level. So they're not going to do anything to that, because that might actually make some people stronger with the universal systems than what needs to be. Nerf his damage, and that's it. His buttons are fast.
Yes.
The man has a crouching medium just as good as Cammy's. Mm-hmm. And he actually has whatchamacallit. Now I will say this. They gotta do something about that head stomp mix up.
Oh yeah.
That part, I seen some BS at EVO with the head stomp crap. But you know what? Let's not get into buffs and nerfs, because at the end of the day, Capcom knows what they're doing. But I will say this: I do know that they have some characters in Street Fighter 6 who gets the anime damage reduction treatment where it's like after your first 5 buttons, the rest of your attacks are garbage. You're just doing that to build meter at this point and burn time. All you have to do is just nerf Bison's damage by around 17%, and he'll be in line to where it's like 2.5 touches. But again, to even start Bison's thing with the setup, he has to hit you first. So you're already losing life on that. So what are we talking about? And then the game does have guts. If you ever notice, the shorter your life is, combos don't do nowhere near as much damage as when you have the full life bar. So, you know, people need to kind of be aware of certain things or whatever else. But I do know that that's a complaint. But if you complain about Bison's damage, nerf it by 17% overall, you'll be fine.
They're fine. They don't need to do anything about that.
Tekken 8.
But yeah.
5-time EVO champion now.
They need a nerf Dragunov. I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Wait, no. They need to abolish Dragunov.
They need to nerf him to hell. For those who play, you remember the first Overwatch game? You obviously remember Overwatch.
Well, yeah.
But there was a character named Genji. He was up there. They nerfed the hell out of him. They need to do the same thing with Dragunov.
I don't know. Well, since I don't play shooters like that, so I don't know. Or I should say team-based shooters. So I don't know how broken or busted Genji was compared.
In the beginning, he was busted until they nerfed to they have we have it like a tier list where you have this, like 3 or 4 things.
No, I'm talking about what he did versus his before and after. I need to know exactly what they did. But I will say this again. I wasn't able to talk to you about it. I was talking to Soul about a lot of these things. You have a 3-part. I thought I was watching Soul Calibur at one point because I was just like, wait, they got armor break?
Yeah, they
I've never seen Tekken get to the point to where it's just how you doing this much armor break, because it was feeling like Soul Calibur 4. But Dragunov has a 3-part move. He's doing these big winding moves. But yeah, he's still plus. So I was just like, wait, what's the recovery frames on some of this stuff? He just gets to throw out buttons for free.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it, in the top 6, top 12, almost every single person picked.
I can't lie. When I seen the Dragunov mirror, I didn't even watch that.
I said for the love, I said for the next patch, for the next few characters that come, I say please nerf Dragunov.
I don't even know how such a stale character. You know why? He's so stale. That's the reason why they probably made him powerful. Because when people, but the thing about he was good in Tekken 7.
He was.
I think he was in Tekken 6, right?
Yeah. He did. I think he debuted in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection.
Yeah, but he was always dry. He's such a boring character. So it's just one of those things of he's like bland Ryu with good buttons. Like that. I don't know how, because they call Ryu ordinary guy in some of the games in Marvel, because the man just has a standard toolkit compared to everybody else. But Dragunov is just bland. So what they do, I'm plus on this. I got quicker recovery for it. I don't want to be a Dragunov hater, but I can't lie. Compared to everybody else, the man has no swag. He don't have no sauce about him. This man just throws out buttons and tells you, I wish you hit a button. You're just let me do this 30 frame haymaker, but I got +2 recovery frame. That's what it feels like.
What surprised the heck out of me is that a Dragunov didn't win. A Nina won the whole thing.
Wait. Disclaimer. Before you finish that comment, remember, Punk Takami. Who was playing Nina?
Good point.
Okay.
Because the reason why I said that, because Dragunov is one of the most broken characters in the game, and Nina was, I would say, she's mid tier.
Again. Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up. So guys, I want to talk about this now. I used to play in tournaments. I know you're more of a casual with it, but it is still a good topic to talk about. Guys, I would love to hear the comments from this. I talk about this all the time. It's character potential versus player skill. That is the thing you always got to go by. If a person knows the universal mechanics of a fighting game, and you are a top tier player, meaning Punk's not universal with fighting games, but he plays enough of them. But we're going to take the top that we know of, Justin Wong. As long as Justin Wong has enough time to learn or master the mechanics of a game, let's just give 5 business days, and that's all he's played for, like maybe 8 to 10 hours per day. You can literally beat anybody from low to the highest tier. It might be harder, it might take, but that person has the ability to do it because of player skill. But then we look at character potential. Like, tell me if I'm, I don't BS or gaslight people, guys. So, like, for instance, right? If you take the top 5 characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I'm still on Justin Wong's case, okay? What did all the top tier players in Marvel 2 play with? Cable, Psylocke, Storm, Sentinel, Magneto, and Captain Commando. I'm sorry, 6. Those were the main ones. Now, the other 2 was Iron Man and Spiral, because Spiral has that broken, let me put up the swords, hit you, and she can keep throwing out the swords. Like, she can put you on a constant block string to trip you to death from 0 to 100 if she does everything right. Doctor Doom in Marvel 2 is nowhere near as good as Doctor Doom in Marvel 3. So, but I'm not trying to talk about Marvel 3. But if you take those characters, those are considered the highest character potential in the game. Some of them might take more skill than others, but if you was to pick those, you have a really good chance of doing really good based off of the amount of information that's already out there. Now, when Marvel vs. Capcom Collection comes out, there might be a different story, but then you go to Marvel 3, right? Marvel 3 is way more balanced than Marvel 2, but there's still the characters that, because of their toolkit, depending on your skill, you're either going to be super great or you're going to be doo-doo with them. So that's what it goes by. So you have a high-level person playing with Dragunov, but Dragunov's always been strong. I don't know why. I'd rather Miguel back before Dragunov, but you have a high-level guy that's playing with Dragunov, and nothing to his skill. But I can't remember his name, so I don't want to butcher his name. But the guy that won EVO actually in Tekken 7 was better than majority of the people out there, whether they were Korea, Japan, NA, and honestly, let's be totally honest, there was hardly any NA representatives.
Yeah.
So, I want to know what happened with that. But 5-time EVO champion, he obviously has higher skill than majority of the players out there, and he was able to make a mid-tier character, I ain't gonna say mid-tier character, look top tier. So, let me know if I'm making sense to y'all guys, because I talk about this all the time. Because, like, for instance, amongst our group of friends, and I'm talking about ours, I'm not gonna call everybody else's name out, but in Marvel 3, I'm the final boss in that game. In Marvel 2, I'd say it's Soul. In Street Fighter 6, Soul plays a lot more fighting games than me. In Street Fighter 6, I'd probably say it's Soul. In Tekken 8, am I going to say Soul again? Because I don't think Steven or Huffman, or is it Yoshi?
I think it's probably Yoshi. I think it's Yoshi.
Okay, so Marvel 3, Battle for the Grid, which is the Power Rangers fighting game, and maybe some other anime fighters. Well, DNF Duel I'm probably better than some of the people, but Grand Blue Fantasy, it's sold because I stopped playing the game. So it's one of those things. But here's the thing: I say I suck all the time, but my skill with the characters that I choose to play has a synergy and a symmetry that's higher than theirs based off my experience and the amount of time I put with the game. If y'all was to put as much time into the game, you just like a person when they're trying to lose weight and they hit that wall, you're going to hit a wall until you break it. So who's to say after enough time y'all won't get better, depending on the game. But then do you have an interest in it? Do you like it? All of those factors kind of like play its part. So that's like a little side tangent. It's still towards EVO, but guys, I want y'all to look at this. Whether you're a seasoned veteran, whether you're a retired tournament player, whether you're intermediate all the way down to just a filthy casual, if you're watching EVO, you know that you're watching the top of the top. Even I catch myself doing this, even though I don't consider myself a good player. But you have to think about those two things: character skill versus player potential. And can you see yourself, going to one of these majors, getting out of, not drowning in pools? You know what I'm saying? So, it goes back to like, how should a character be nerfed? How good are you at the game to even make that opinion? Sometimes some people make sense based off of like certain things, but if you're talking about like overall universal things, I'll give it to anybody that with anything can put their 2 cents in. But if you're going into the nitty gritty of the game, like I said, 17%. I said that number specifically based off of numbers and damage and everything I heard based off of Bison. But definitely kind of like, give me your opinion on that, because I talk and discuss that all the time in every fighting game, even games I hardly play like Smash Ultimate. Somebody was like, yo man, Blase was like, look, I don't really play this game, but based off of this X, Y, and Z, I'll give my 2 cents in and I'll just let it like, float off in the ether. But did you watch any of the exhibitions?
I haven't really watched much of the exhibitions. I need a lot of.
Wait! I sent you that link for what was it? Twitch multi-stream or something TV. Like, I even tried it on my phone. You can literally watch like
the
9 or 12 at once.
Yeah, I watched that every single time. I was like Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear. I seen a little bit of Mortal Kombat, but like I was like, it's always between Guilty Gear or Street Fighter or something. Or anything like that.
Don't roast me, because I know you said Guilty Gear. I didn't think Guilty Gear was all that great.
What?
But
the top 8?
No. Some of the top 8 was okay. I was rooting for Hotashi and Marvello because those are 2 of my guys or whatever else. But they got knocked out kind of. Well, Marvello I think made top 8. I think, or did he just missed it? I can't remember. I know Hotashi got knocked out, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked Mortal Kombat more. Sonic Fox and Homelander was enjoyable to watch for some reason. I play Morgan in Marvel 3, so I'm seeing flying combos and I'm just like, ooh, Homelander getting them. It didn't even feel like I was watching Superman. Homelander was dusting people. Like, now, I don't know the controversy behind Sonic Fox's interview with Seth Killian. Seth Killian, my guy. Please, Seth, can you get TVC to be on PC? No more Dolphin emulator. Can you just get the powers that be to bring Tatsunoko vs. Capcom off of Nintendo's platform? We'll go with the one that's the most fresh because I had you watch a bit of it, and I want to know your take anyway. So, Infiltration, a really good fighting game player from way back when. He's still a good fighting game player, but he was banned from EVO a long time ago for something personal, which was unfortunately a domestic violence dispute against his former wife, because they're no longer together, of course. but he beat those charges. He wasn't charged. But his personal life got, I guess, combined with his fighting game career, and he got banned from EVO. I don't know if he got banned from other fighting game tournaments, but he was definitely banned from EVO. But
I think he was from other tournaments as well.
Yeah, I can't remember that part, but he ended up coming back to EVO as a spectator because it shows that he was banned on his Star.gg account, I guess, you know, to try to get into EVO. Now, it was a domestic violence dispute against his wife. Pretty much they was calling him a wife beater. He beat the charges because he wasn't charged with it. But people are so disingenuous, we're still running with it. And even though he beat the charges, meaning there's no proof that he did it, he was still banned. He served his sentence, well, whatever it was, and then without an explanation, they still have him banned. That is liable for lawsuit in America because we sue for everything.
Yes, it is.
I'm still trying to find a way to sue for stupid. So, but the biggest thing that was disingenuous or that I hate about this day and age is, and we watched it, even though he's supposed to be banned from EVO, if he didn't go there, he wouldn't have seen this. They have the years of every person that was a champion at EVO, and I think he was on there like 3 or 4 times for different years.
Yep.
They scratched his name out with a black marks a lot. So now you're defiling EVO property, which is already a crime, because technically EVO is open to the public, but it's private property. And obviously the Cannon brothers and whoever else is part of the FGC still respect Infiltration for him being a top player. Somebody crossed out his name, and over one of them called him a grape IST. So, which he never was. Now, if Infiltration wanted to, he could sue EVO, meaning you would be suing the Cannon brothers, you would be suing Sony, and technically, because another shareholder is Pokemon, you would be suing that whole board for defamation and for slander. Now, somebody had to have taken the time to do that, so they need to find out who did that. But even though he might have been banned, EVO is a tourist attraction in Nevada.
Oh yeah.
So many people that are casuals and pro players who don't know who Infiltration is, if they was to see that and be like, wait, this guy is is that? Somebody is defaming his name on purpose for whatever real reason, or is too stupid to want to actually get all the information that's already out there and is just running with whatever. He never was whatever that was on there. Now, somebody did cover this. We're not going to cover it because we're small time. If you go to Button Check, Ernesto is a really cool guy. He covers it. I think he posted it like a day or 2 ago, and you can get all the information based off of there. We might even put a link in the description if you want to get information on it, but do your due diligence and actually do the research on that. I hate ignorant people. Like I said, if I could find a way to sue for stupid, I would. You're calling this person something that is even more egregious and extreme than what he was charged with, and he wasn't even charged with what he was known or claimed to have, which was a domestic dispute. That is his business, nobody else's. And we literally was watching the video and seeing people putting posts like, why don't you put the proof out there? For what? He beat it. Meaning all the information that was needed necessary for the exact, you're not the police.
No, you're not.
You're not the judges. Wherever his issue or dispute was at, which was probably in Korea, was handled there, and he beat it. Point blank, period. The only issue that, or thing that we need to be concerned with is, oh, he served his time. I don't know how many people have family members that have been to jail or whatever else. If you're cool with them, cool. If you're not, you have a right not to be, whether it's for trust or whatever else. But there are plenty of people in America that have people that have went to jail for either something extreme or for something petty. Do you look at them in any way, shape, or form negative? If they're family and you love them, you turn the other cheek because they did their time. Infiltration did his time. But what's even worse than that is you still have blasphemers who are literally making this man out to be something worse than what it is. And Infiltration has every right to literally sue his way to the top with this. Do me a favor and stop being a bunch of drones and a bunch of sheep. But the worst thing is whoever did that is the person that needs to be outed. Because if that was to happen to anybody else, his name will forever constantly be slandered. Now, Infiltration went on some other people's YouTube, on podcasts and everything else, and said that there are some powerful people that don't want to see him successful, that literally is in a lot of different things. We don't know if that's a plant that was put there for that, but if Infiltration would have never went there to see that, and that story would have been constantly being ran with, and it would have been negative. So, however way he was able to get into EVO, I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, he's justified to be able to do it because somebody is continuing to try to slander his name, and EVO and that whole board has to do their due diligence and investigate that. Like,
I'll give my 2 cents. They better hope and pray that he doesn't sue. Cause I'm gonna bring this up. If he decides to sue, it's gonna be basically like Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a cakewalk.
It's gonna be an easy win, and he's gonna get some mega punch for himself because of the fact that slander, defamation of character, none of this happened. He proved his innocence and all that other stuff, and you still want to try to bash his name, put him under the water. And most likely, I would say this: if he does decide to sue, which who knows, if he does decide to sue them, he most likely EVO's gonna settle.
Oh, they're gonna have to. EVO's gonna settle, and they're gonna have to lift his ban. Because the thing about it is just like with a few other normal tournament players that aren't able to come back to some of the scenes, they're not giving him a reason.
No.
So not only did he serve his time for something that should have never been a part of his career, but he served a time based off of an allegation that he technically beat, which is already unfair. And unfortunately, a lot of people deal with that in America that have gone to jail for no reason that should have never went to jail. But he served his time for something that he didn't do legally. He legally does not have an allegation against him. This is literally people that are causing this to continue to happen. Not only is it what is it called when you defame well, I guess it is defaming property for the evil people that was there. You're also slandering. Look, at the end of the day, if EVO doesn't want to get a lawsuit, they need to find out who did that and like do some charges. But y'all got to do something for these people to actually serve their time. And the fact that nobody has been putting in the time to actually give a legitimate reason, because let's be totally honest, if EVO, Capcom, or whoever else, Capcom America, if EVO, Capcom America, and all these other people that have certain people not able to at least do NA tournaments and was to find out what it was for, do all the research, a lot of these bans would be lifted. And a lot of the other comments that was talking about like, oh, how do we feel safe or whatever else? Come on, man. Stop gaslighting. Y'all gaslighting and pandering so hard. Mainly gaslighting.
Mainly that.
How are you going to say you're going to be safe when you don't even know the person that you're sitting next to might not have done something and just haven't gotten caught yet? Who's to say you're not the person that actually is a hardened criminal and that done some illegal stuff? if you drive faster than the speed limit, you're technically a criminal. Like, so I don't want to hear nothing. Everybody from a grocery store worker all the way up to a politician has broken the law in some way, shape, or form. And yes, it goes that wide. From a bagger at Publix to the president of the United States, everybody has done something illegal. Whether you have littered, whether you have done the speed limit, whether. But you know,
many things, yeah.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is this goes out more so for EVO, the Cannon brothers, Rick, and everybody else. Take the time to actually look at some of these people that have served their time and do the right thing. Because the fact that Infiltration has legitimate proof and pictures, multiple, of somebody calling him something that he is not. He's already served his time for something that he technically won the allegation against, is not a good look on y'all. So I want 2XKO to come out, but y'all can put some admin on there to do some investigations as to why some of these things are happening. And look at those videotapes, because for somebody to literally have the time to go through like 3 or 4 different signs and then have the time to write on there, unless it was a cosplayer, y'all can find out who it was. So, but that takes time and money, and we already know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. We had some. I know there was some other EVO. We're just gonna call them controversies that happened. One of the biggest ones that I know that was complained about was the line to get into the grand stage for a top 6 on Sunday. A few things I was hearing was like, oh, we all paid our money for the grand stadium. Y'all know how many seats y'all have, but yet and still the line outside was like 3 times as long as the one inside. Y'all just had us paying for this cage that y'all set up that was new to it. So y'all were being disingenuous with the money. A lot of people are asking for their refund.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that one is kind of a big one. That's actually a huge one. But what were some of the? I think you're the one that talked about the one with the payouts, right?
Yeah, when Punk, after he won Street Fighter 6, he posted on Twitter, which I don't even have. He posted it and somebody shared it saying that he got more money. Second place.
When he fought against Takedo, then I think 3 times the amount. If I'm correct. Yeah.
And then I'm just like, what? And then next thing you know, EVO decided to double down and give him, because they got their hand caught in the cookie jar, to the fact that they snubbed these players the money.
Yeah, I think it was Rick. Rick, I think, actually is the one that said that he's going to give the minimum payout was supposed to be the 12K, but they superseded that. So I think they said that just from Street Fighter 6 alone with attendees, that I think to play or something like that, they got 2.1 million. So they
easily outbeat the minimum. So whatever his amount's supposed to be, that's what he's supposed to get.
Yep.
We're grateful for the patience and understanding you showed us.
Trying to see if
what EVO can and should.
let me see. This is Rick. I want to mute this because, you know, we don't want to get everything's fair use, but, you know, we want to make sure that nothing is taken out of context, guys. So
another side note that I'm gonna let everybody know, because I told GN Invasion and I told Traditionals 101 that we want to do EVO someday. Here's a little side note. Don't take American Airlines.
oh, I thought they were one of the better ones.
Oh no! There's a story that's been going online on Facebook that's been hitting viral. This one guy, he said that he was catching a flight to American Airlines, but after what happened with the Microsoft outage and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Apparently, he was supposed to be competing for EVO, and you probably might know what's gonna happen after that. After the flight got delayed, he got DQ'd because he couldn't attend, and he was very visibly upset because one, American Airlines never asked for compensation. They never.
Wait,
they were being rude. They didn't tell him nothing that's going on.
Well, yeah, well, there's this new thing that passed. I can't remember. It's technically under the Biden administration. But if I'm correct, they already talked about it. But I don't know if it's airline to airline or if it's just all airlines in general. If your flight gets delayed or bumped in any way, shape, or form, you can ask for a refund.
Yeah, and American Airlines, they didn't offer none of that.
No, you have to request it. So it might be that he didn't have prior knowledge to that because, yeah, you might be upset because you lost whatever entry fee or money is for EVO, but a plane ticket is more expensive. So you could have easily kind of got that money back. I mean, granted, it's still not a great thing, but I've taken Southwest the past 2 or 3 times before the whole issue with the whole doors and everything else going on, and apparently some airlines are just known for delays.
Yep.
I haven't had not one flight in the past let's see, this year, last year, in the past 3 years that haven't had a delay.
So it's so if we're gonna go there, we gotta stay away from American Airlines.
Man. And right now, apparently, I gotta stay away. They actually, believe it or not, staying on the flight thing, they actually say Spirit Airlines is the best one to go with right now. Because of the hacking thing that happened with the airports, apparently Spirit is the only one that uses a different flight system. So they're the only ones that weren't compromised.
Wow.
But we already know the stuff that people say about Spirit.
About Spirit. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, you need a cheap flight to get someplace. That's an Airbus. You could look. I never heard about. Look, it might feel rickety, but I've never heard of a door flying off.
That's true.
So,
no final destination happened yet.
People been MacGyvering that with spit, bubblegum, and paper clips. But
That's true. I was like, if we're gonna go, I'll probably might take Alaska Airlines or something like that.
Jesus Christ, man! God knows how much those are. I'm trying to see if anybody actually says something. Oh, here's one. As far as the EVO controversy, it says some people that were already in attendance were denied access back in, and their stuff was already on the seat.
What?
So, if you had to use the restroom, you better be peeing in a bottle, and hope somebody doesn't, call for oh my God, he showed himself in public. Oh man, I wonder just how much overflow.
I feel bad for females right now at that point. I will feel bad if there's a lot of women. I will feel bad for every last one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of do they even have bathrooms in that stadium? That tells me that the structure of the arena that was built over there wasn't even up to par then.
No, it ain't.
Because once you're in, I don't know if there's a wristband or whatever else, because the EVO tassel, depending on which lanyard you have, is going to be one that tells you if you're Because do I still have my EVO one? No, that was something different. I know I have my EVO one somewhere. It's probably in my bedroom. But it normally when I went to anything, they had bathrooms constructed in that area. Even if they were porta potties, you had something and you go back to your seat, but it was in the thing. To have to go outside to use the restroom and then you try to go back in, they'd be like, no. It's just I'm already in here. There needs to be something that shows that you're already in so they don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
To do something to identify somebody that's already in, and they need to know the actual seat and head count. Have people with walkie-talkies, attendees, and be like, yo, we're filled up on HI, ABC, whatever else, so that this way, but I unfortunately do believe I have to unfortunately believe the fans on this particular one with EVO. You pretty much spent probably way too much money on the stand of the stadium. At the same time, people do need to get paid or whatever else. Some of the money will be pocketed by certain people, as it was stated, but I mean, they literally helped host a venue for y'all, for everybody to see, so that's warranted. But you know how many seats y'all had. If it could only fit 50,000, you shouldn't have been taking 150,000 people. And this is just exaggerated numbers. This ain't the real numbers. So, again, the line that was outside that we just watched on that is 3 times as long just going into the stadium. So how many people didn't get a chance? That's thousands of people.
Thousands.
So, that's crazy.
At that point, they might as well be moving to where they do UFC. At that point, where they do UFC events.
Okay, so this is where they actually say, I just realized I made more money getting second at EVO with way less entrants. I feel scammed. And that's what Punk had said.
Yup.
Let's see. And then $12K for first and $6K for second this year. And EVO in 2017 for Street Fighter V was $26.52. EVO for 2024 was $52.65.
That's basically doubled. More than doubled.
And they said, was the prize pool just 30K straight up? No. Because back in some of the other ones, Capcom would always give like a certain amount, and then the rest of it would be paid through the entrance of whatever came in. But normally each game is $10 entry. So if you're saying $10 from that, dang, like that.
That's just money hungry right there. That's greed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
You have doubled the entrance. That's doubled money that you're getting in your pocket.
Let's see what this one guy says. He's like, being EVO champion is worth so much more as your stock just went up. Wait, anyone wants to sponsor you need for okay, that was somebody just giving an opinion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. So back in Street Fighter V, Tokido won 35,750, and then Punk won 15,250 for second place. So Punk won 12K, which, like Rick said, I believe said it was the minimum, and we're going to be getting to that in a moment. So apparently, in attendance period, just for combat entrants, like tournament players, was about 10,240, and on average the price for EVO was around 250.
Yep.
So just for tournament player entrants, you got over $2.5 million. So what they're saying, and they're saying this is no sponsors, no nothing, just registration. So if EVO has already made $2.5 million, granted, that got to get divvied up a lot of different ways. But when you're talking about just from that alone, and then over 5,200 entrants was for EVO for Street Fighter 6 by itself, the payout should have never been
that little.
Yeah, so I get it now. I get it.
And that's not even 50. They're not even giving 50%. They're not even giving 50%.
Like
not even 20 or 25% of all that. They're not even giving 25%.
Yeah, let's just be totally honest. With Street Fighter 6, Punk should be getting around 50,000.
At least.
Easy. Yeah. No. At least it's technically the 12K. because I'm trying to find it where.
No, but if he makes, they say over 200. If they make $2 million.
No, that's overall.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you gotta
overall.
remember that with however many games they have that have prize pools that are contributed from EVO, because some tournaments weren't sponsored by EVO. I don't think that was there. Kind of like how they do like minors or side tournaments at other majors.
Yeah.
So So I won't say all, but so that 2.5 million is divvied up quite a few different ways. But even with that being the case, you have more than enough money out of $1 million to put towards other stuff. Okay, look at this. So Alex Valle had said something about it. The prize pool for each main EVO was 30K. And then I'm not sure there is a distribution breakdown of this though. Anyways, this is one of the times where Street Fighter 6 buy-in makes more than the guaranteed prize pool. Let's just say, for the sake of explaining, 5K entrance equals 50,000 if $10 went into the buy-in. Other games like Third Strike and Grand Blue with slightly over 1,000 entrant makes the guaranteed prize pool a better prize. Which that's kind of true. That kind of is true. So, so at a minimum, there's 52,000 to get distributed amongst the players, not including whatever part that EVO has to put up, which in this case, just from the tournament player side, is over 10,000 people at 250. Because not only because you got to pay for the badge and you got to pay for the entry fee. So, but that was coming from Alex Valle. It was just like, for anyone wondering, Capcom added a 50,000 bonus pot in 2017. Okay, which is why the prizes were higher. Otherwise, it's purely just based off the entry fee. Your second prize should be more than your second place finish. Your prize should be more than your second place finish though, as you should be getting 20K plus this year. So a lot of people are saying like it was just way too low. I'm trying to get to, okay, here we go. Rick, who if I'm correct is the TO for Frosty Frostings, finally made a statement. He said this means there was an error in the prize payment process, as 12K would be representative of only the minimum guaranteed prizing. Street Fighter 6 should have matched the total entry. This will be corrected ASAP. And this was back on the 23rd, almost at midnight. So, well, 11:38, but still closer to
Close to midnight.
yeah. So enough of this has been talked about to where this should get corrected soon enough. Three major controversies. But was there any more that you actually heard about?
About SnakeEyes.
Ah, that's the one. Okay, I had forgot about that. So you was telling me something on it, but I wanted to wait for the podcast. So go ahead and talk about it.
Well, we all know what happened when Punk finally got his flowers.
Yeah,
On EVO.
he got emotional. Like
He got
always
emotional.
does.
Like
He's a passionate player.
Yeah, but before that, he won CEO,
Yes.
and then he won EVO in the same year. He finally got his flowers, and a lot of us were happy for him. He was crying, and I had said, "Could you blame the man?
No,
Could you blame him?" But
Okay.
then all of a sudden, a great player known as SnakeEyes.
Yeah, the probably the top NA Zangief player.
He's one. I would say I agree with that. He put his 2 cents and he mocked Punk by winning it, and I'm gonna try to play the video.
Okay.
Make some noise for your champion!
I'm so happy I won because,
I get
You
it.
know,
But, yo,
I've
let's
been
not
wanting
take
this
anything away
to win this
from
like
this
for so
man that
long,
put
and
quite a hell of a fight against everyone in this tournament. Give it up for Big Bird,
And-
y'all.
Tokido took my first win
No,
away,
this is
and
not
then
the
I
result
dubbed
that he
in.
wanted, but I mean, come on, this is fighting games. They can only be won in Punk the God today and for the rest of the year, to be honest. You're the best in the world, man.
That's how it is.
Straight up. Punk, you the best. Make some noise for your chick.
Like mocking him.
Yeah, he's my. So here's the thing, right? Normally when I hear things like that, to me you're just being a salty little bitch.
Pretty much.
But at the same time, like what nobody, it almost seems like hating also. So it's kind of like, was Snake Eyes ever a hater of Punk? Because anytime I've ever heard Punk or anybody else talk to Snake Eyes, it's kind of like, yo, we need Zangief play or whatever else, and everybody's always just like, Snake Eyes is always dodging them to play. But from a tourney player perspective, you ain't trying to put your tech out there. Snake Eyes plays online, does tech, he beats people, but then he's always labbing, so he might not want to get figured out, which kind of helps you in the long run. But that's for you personally. If you've never been known to be a hater or mock somebody, why would you do this now and you know that? So I think the only thing I said like off the cuff when you first told me about it was, all of us know that Punk is an emotional person, sometimes an emotional wreck, because he's a very competitive and very passionate person, but he finally got his flowers. He finally was able to do a double win between CEO and EVO. So mad respect to him on that. But Punk has been this way ever since his career. He talks shit in the game.
Yep.
Because we already know Punk probably can't fight. But he talks shit in the game and he backs it up.
Yep.
That's the most respect you can give to that man. So if you notice about him that he's very passionate and emotional about his craft, Snake Eyes, you're a part of the top in the FGC. Why would you mock him like that? That don't make no sense. So, but while I'm not trying to defend Snake Eyes, there's only a few things I could think about. I don't know if Snake Eyes streams on Twitch. I don't know if he does any real form of public appearance except for just plays online and goes to tournaments. And this is the only thing I'm going to say. If he is invested in real world anything, meaning society, red pill, anything, it goes hand in hand with the hating a little bit. If he's been kind of like indulging in that, you know, maybe his brain has been warped or tweaked a little bit. You know, some brainwashing going on. I don't know.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I can really I can only really think about on that one, guys. I don't want to like indulge in it too much because it doesn't make no sense. It's kind of like if you have a bunch, like for instance, amongst our group of friends, if there's somebody that's a brokey and never has money, you're not going to invite them to stuff that has money. But if there's a house party and you know that you want everybody to pitch in, you're not going to ask him, just let him be there because you know he's cool peoples to be around, but that's as far as you probably will go. But when it comes down to the lineage of Punk's career and he finally got a double win, and y'all know he's an emotional player, why? Like Chris G is an emotional player. And he's cried about certain things because there's so much that goes into being up on a grand stage, a bunch of people watching you while you're trying to perform your best against other top tier talent. Like, man, look, Snake Eyes, man, there's no defending this.
And
You just a pure, whether you wanted to do it or not, you were being a pure hater. And I hate to say it, you took one out of LTG's book with this one.
he went from I'm gonna say this. He went from Snake Eyes to low tier eyes. I don't know why he's gonna say something like that, but I'm gonna say this. Punk called him out
Oh, he did.
Punk called him out. And what he has said, Punk was right, cause he said, "You're mocking me." Yet he said, "I'm the champ." He said, "I just really won a big tournament." He said, "You have done not a single accomplishment since Street Fighter 4." And I had said, "He ain't lying."
Kudos to Punk for that. Then
I'm like, he ain't lying, because he's right, because he hasn't done any since Street Fighter 4. He's not wrong about that.
Snake Eyes hasn't really gone to very many Street Fighter 6 tournaments either. Now, here's the thing though. I will say this, and it seems to be more prevalent with older heads in the FGC than anything else. When you come from a certain area in fighting games, or it could be any game, but I notice it is prevalent with fighting games, there tends to be a bias with newer games, and they don't like certain things, so they'll stick to the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, yeah, you know, I try it every once in a while, I just can't get into it, so I'll just stick with other stuff. Kind of like how, you know, there's a few of our friends that will play the old Street Fighters, but for some reason, I mean the new Street Fighters, but for some reason will keep going back to the old ones.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things of, why would you want to play the old? The whole point is that there's a new game that came out, leave that one alone and play this. Nah, man, this is still a great game, or this is better. This is probably better than this one, but it's what they grew up with. Kind of like how I grew up with Marvel 2. But the game that I really put time into was Marvel 3. I love that game. I played a modded version of it also. But I also like Marvel Infinite. The next Marvel that comes out, I like versus games. But the more, what's the best way I can put it? The more diverse your fighting game repertoire is, the better you become at just fighting games in general. It's nice being a master of one, but again, Snake Eyes is good at Street Fighter 6, but he's never won nothing relevant. But to be fair, because everybody's been asking about this, the strongest version of Zangief is Street Fighter 4. He's also the most offensive. They didn't make Zangief this way. It could be because, you know how they say, not my character? Snake Eyes is a Zangief loyalist, but who's to say that this isn't his Zangief? He just knows how to play it. Let them pour Street Fighter 4 Zangief in this. Snake Eyes might be talking mad stuff.
If they put Street Fighter,
if they gave him Green, I think most people would just want Green Hand. Green Hand is one of the strongest things in the world. But and I'm actually kind of surprised. This is a very offensive version of Street Fighter, but yet still they didn't give an offensive version of Zangief.
Maybe what if in the patches, after they get Mai and get Elena, they bring that Zangief? You think Snake Eyes will make a comeback, or you think he's gonna get torn apart?
For them to do a complete rework of Zangief takes so much time and money. They're not going to do that for Zangief. They're not. Now, here's the thing. Buffs and nerfs, Zangief has one of the most blandest combo routes I've ever seen in my life. Because he only gets like 2 moves before having to go into either super or into lariat, which just causes him to do a hard knockdown. Now again, he is a grappler. Hard knockdown is probably the thing you want with Zangief all the time. But this Zangief is with such a high offensive system. This is probably one of the worst Zangiefs. Yeah. You have a defensive Zangief in a high offensive game. They should have technically put Street Fighter 4 version of Zangief in. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen, so I'm not even worried about it. But with them bringing Elena back, Elena's big trope in Street Fighter 4 was the fact that she could heal herself. That was also something she did in Third Strike, so it technically goes down into the lore. Capcom would be dumb to not bring back some form of healing. Because Jamie, you remember the match with Jamie versus Zangief?
Yeah.
That man, I've never seen somebody keep level 4 Jamie up for so long. Combo into the drink, combo into the drink. Once you got into it, combo, knockdown, into the drink, into something else. Even while he was drive gauge exhausted. That man drank himself to victory out of it. Like that man, Jamie. I can't remember the guy that played Jamie, but that guy didn't stay in burnout for very long. Like, I've never heard of somebody getting 2 transformations in 1 round too. That's how crazy it was. You get a burnout and 2 transformations in 1 round. Like, come on, man. Like, so I don't know how they're going to do the healing for Elena, but Elena had damage already from Third Strike and even Street Fighter 4. So the drive gauge system is just going to make her so much better. But I'm just curious, are they going to do like mass heal? Is it going to be like a region thing? So, because technically, Aki brought the status effects to the game because it's tick damage over time, and it's drastic if you do it right. Well, no, Fang did. Fang did. But with Elena, is it going to be mass heal or is it going to be because how much
heal or heal over time?
Because we already know it's not going to be a critical art.
No, it's not.
So it's most likely going to be. I think it's going to be a level 2.
Well, level
Her level 2 is going to be the healing.
Yeah, like everybody else. Yeah.
That's going to suck. Nah, and here's the thing, right? I have a feeling it's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be somewhere between 15 and 20%. That's my on the video. I think it's going to be fit. Do you know how much that's going to suck?
Yes, it will.
And I did misquote myself, so I'm doing it in the same video. I said that like Street Fighter, it's 1,000 health or whatever else on average. If I'm correct, it's technically 10,000 is the average health for each person. Zangief having the highest, and I think Honda is second highest or something like that. So on average, if it's 10,000 health, that means that if it's like 15 to 20%, that means you're getting back around 1,500 to 2,000. So, combo always you always have 3 meters, critical art, whatever else. Bop, bop, knockdown, or bop. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The knockback, heal. Like, just imagine, knockback, heal. The guy's like, fuck. Just imagine, you have 3 meters, you're close to death, you knock them away, heal, and then you try to move yourself back to the middle of the screen doing footsies, and you're trying your best. Drive gauge, knock back again, back away, heal, Half-Life. Like, nah, I can already see the annoyance. But you know what?
There's gonna be everybody's. If that were to happen, there's gonna be a lot of rage quitters.
Oh yeah, but you know how to fix it?
How you fix that?
The same way they did Marvel 3 Phoenix. You give her less life. So if Akuma has 9,000, because he does have 1,000 less than everybody, Elena, with the fact that she can heal, 8,000.
That could work.
I can't lie. That kind of puts her in a situation where the 2 highest damaging characters in the game right now, which is Bison and Akuma, would and Zangief. Oh, Manon, if she gets 5 grapples. It won't even be 5 grapples, it'll be 2 or 3. She dies pretty much in 1 to 1.5 touches. But that's the only way I can see it. That's the only way I can see it. But can you just imagine the SPD that takes 75% of your life? But yeah, like I said, right now we're just gonna say Elena with 10,000 health, but I think it's gonna be 15 to 20%. I really do. I would be surprised if they say it's only 10%, but even that's kind of drastic because if you build up 3 meters, combo or knockback into heal, and then enough footsie and shimmying to get another 2 meters, you're extending that fight a lot. And if you're good at the game, and Elena is a footsie character, so that. But one great notable thing that was at EVO, which they did show a lot of trailers.
Oh yeah.
So we got, I think, 2 or 3 new characters that they showed for Hunter x Hunter and then Impact, which I'm excited about because that's a tag-based 3v3 fighter. it seems like it plays a little bit like Tatsunoko versus Capcom and Marvel at the same time, but it seems like it's closer to Tatsunoko versus Capcom. You don't have flight characters. You got Terry Bogard's story gameplay trailer in Street Fighter 6, and he looked really good. So I'm excited for Mai when she comes out. But I think Terry comes out end of this year, right?
Yeah, he comes out like in the fall.
So
It's like Ryu. He wanted to smoke.
I'm gonna give it about a month before we actually see a gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
About a month.
Like he's basically like Ryu at this point. He wanted to smoke because besides EVS 2, he went to Smash. King of Fighters. He went to Smash. Now he's in Street Fighter.
Yep.
What's gonna be next?
Yeah.
Well, King of Fighters was in Tekken. Now King of Fighters want to smoke. They was like, we want to smoke too.
Yeah. Now here's the funny thing. Now Lucy from Cyberpunk, whatever Edge Runners. Yeah. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Lucy was announced in Guilty Gear Strive.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I feel like she's gonna be a trap character, because if you think about what Lucy did, part cybernetic, she was able to go into like this weird digital space or whatever else.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like she's gonna end up using like these wires like off of her hands or whatever else that does like traps. I have a feeling she's gonna be a trap character, kind of like Jacko. I might be wrong, but we really all we seen was a picture of it. But they announced Dizzy, which was crazy.
Oh yeah.
They announced the whole all 4 characters, but those 2 are the 2 craziest ones.
Yeah, they.
To me. And then they did announce one new character, which, if you're new, we just got to see what you look like. They announced a new character, I believe, for Under Night and Birth. Don't quote me on that. I believe I had seen one for Under Night and Birth, which their top 6 was actually good too. 'Cause, again, I like my anime games. That one was actually good. Who else was announced? We know what didn't happen. There was no more Dragon Ball stuff. Ha ha. I actually thought that wasn't going to be at EVO this year.
Yeah, I thought so too. And
what is the other trailer? I'm kind of
besides
upset.
the return of Heihachi Mishima.
Why are you going to leave me hanging? You could have said that. You could have said that.
The return of Heihachi Mishima.
Yeah. So, Heihachi is now confirmed in Tekken 8, and you had something to say about it. I kind of made some type of sense on it, but just for the people at home.
I said because everybody said the creator had lied because he said that last year that Heihachi is dead and he's never coming back.
And what did I say?
This is a business perspective, and they're not going to spoil anything. They're going to keep their mouth shut until the reveal happened, and not going to lie, it shocked the hell out of me. It shocked everybody.
Yep. So here's the thing, guys, and I have a what the hell? I will look at that later. So here's the thing, right? And some people are gonna be like, "Oh, come on, man, really?" Nah, you got to think about how many leaks happen in fighting games. Harada is not some spring chicken. He's smart. So the best thing you can do, oh, this looks awesome. The best thing you can do is actually, what is it called? There's a term for it when you tell people one thing and get their attention on other stuff. So, and you have very few people that know about it, so that you can actually make what you need to and keep it a surprise. It's like deviation or diverting your attention. I don't like making things sound political, but it's kind of like the news will tell you about police brutality, so that they can go on and be doing these like things with drugs or with medicine that you don't find out till months later, and they didn't already did what they needed to. That type of diversion. probably a bad. Unfortunately, it's not really a bad example, but it's a bad enough example since we're trying to talk about fighting games or whatever else. It's just one of those things of there's so many leaks and rumors that normally happen that, you know, this is probably one of the best things that could have happened to Tekken 8 because there's plenty of people that love Hayachi and didn't want him gone. And if I'm correct, I think I remember them talking about like how he survived during EVO when they announced the trailer. So, you know, you can confirm with us if they do talk about it, but if I'm correct, if you actually watch the trailer, he does say something about it. But I don't know if it's somebody in EVO that commentated or said something about it, or if it was in the trailer itself.
I gotta look at that trailer itself because I'm like, I'm still back. Like, how the heck he survived that? I'm like,
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's business. Like, the man didn't lie. The man did what he needed to do for business to keep the hype going. Because I can't lie, I like being excited about what guest feature is going to be next, and they don't tell you. Now,
yeah, I agree with that.
Now, I think King of Fighters does do this thing where they'll show a silhouette for the next person, and you gotta kind of have to guess on who it is. That's cool also. But like with Guilty Gear and Street Fighter telling us who's already going to be in it,
it kind of ruins it for you.
Yeah, like you could have just told me. You could have told me the first one, and then just said the date or the season that is going to come in, and I would have been more excited. Like I've been theory crafting a whole bunch of stuff. Like one of the biggest ones for me is why is Mai the last one? And then I thought about her toolkit. She's probably the most complicated one to try to figure out because of the way she plays. Because she has a little bit of Chun-Li, a little bit of Vega. Her jump is actually high but fast. So it's kind of like there's so many things I was thinking about with her toolkit, and depending on which moves they choose to give her. Because she does have her and Terry actually got a lot, but you know Terry at the end of the day is a KOF show though.
And I'll say this in your defense, like about how not to leak everything, which I totally agree. A big example would be freaking
Deadpool X Wolverine. There was no leaks in that.
That and I'll also say another one. You remember obviously Smash Ultimate, the last character.
Oh yeah, nobody seen that coming.
No, we've seen a lot of people seen that coming. Sora, a lot of people saw it because he was leaked. He was leaked. The one.
No, I'm talking about if it wasn't for the leak, nobody would have saw it
coming.
Yeah.
But the one that nobody saw coming was two characters. Was Joker from Persona. Nobody saw that coming, and the one that shocked the other two characters that broke the internet was freaking Minecraft Steve. It broke Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, he broke Twitter, and Sephiroth broke Facebook, and basically a bunch of Final Fantasy nerds.
I can't lie. I could see Street Fighter making it to Smash, but I didn't see King of Fighters or Final Fantasy. I really didn't. Like those are the two that kind of surprised. Oh, I'm sorry, and Tekken. I was really surprised when Kazuya came. I was just like, wait, what?
I was like, that's what I was like. Are you freaking serious? I'm like, holy. But people was like, why was that surprised about it? I was like, well, even though Namco was involved with the Smash project,
but the thing about it is majority of the cast of Smash from the original all the way up to now was mainly always Nintendo characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when did the first non-Nintendo character come in?
It was the third one, Smash Brothers Brawl, which was Solid Snake.
Yeah, and
then Sonic at the time, and then
but Sonic fits.
But then Sonic fits. But then when the next Smash comes out, Ryu came into play, Bayonetta came into play, Cloud came in.
It's kind of like like the creator had already said, like he's a fan of video games. He literally made Smash based off of King of Fighters.
Yeah.
So but just made it easier. So it's kind of surprising how the very last Smash, because I heard rumors that there might be another Smash, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because you would be stupid to not have the original person that helped to make this possible and try to continue it. You would ruin the franchise.
I would just say port it over and Just
What do you mean port it over? It's on the platform it's supposed to be on.
no, I mean when the Switch 2 comes out.
Oh, you mean put it on Switch 2?
Yeah, or if it's
What?
if it's backwards compatible.
It should be. It's still a Switch.
Yeah, if it's backwards compatible, then there's no need to because everybody.
Nintendo would lose money if they was just like, oh, we made a new peripheral device instead of it being SD cards.
Yeah.
They would, because nobody wants to spend that much money. You're gonna buy a new system and you gotta buy that. Very similar to PSP to PS Vita, and they're making UMDs.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So it's
So
like, yeah, they might as well just leave it as just
yeah.
or just and the only thing I would say just change if you're gonna make it better, do something for online better. That's it.
Their online still sucks.
It's pretty bad, but like if they could clean it up a little bit more, I'll be golden.
They've been focusing on that wireless controller technology
Yeah,
a little bit too much.
they've been focusing on offline for so long. Offline is perfectly fine, but I need to do some online stuff.
Man.
Some online stuff.
Okay, so
We did a lot. We covered a lot.
we've been talking a
Evo.
lot on Evo.
You think we should hold it for the others?
Nah, we haven't been here for a while, so let's just get talk about it. Oh, some other honorable mentions as far as trailer or characters, right? So MK1 has their next DLC coming out with the Chaos Reign, which they got two out of the 3 Triborgs, and they're female. And then one of them they showed the face of, so I know one's a black girl, kind of looks like Cassie Cage, probably isn't. And then they had Conan, Schwarzenegger's Conan, the Barbarian. No, because there are the Conans. Scarface from Scream. So we got a horror.
You mean Ghostface?
Ghostface. I'm sorry, I said Scarface. Huh?
Yeah.
Ghostface from Scream, which is our first horror movie character to come in.
For
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, for Mortal Kombat 1, yeah, it would be.
Because our horror theme was Mortal Kombat X, which is still the best goated Mortal Kombat ever. Don't hate. And then who was the other character? Noob Saibot. In a transformed Noob Saibot. Havoc form Noob Saibot. That's what it is. And then Billy Kane was announcing the new Fatal Fury game coming out, which is interesting because he doesn't have his bandana. I did hear that there are going to be characters coming to the new King of Fighters 15 because apparently they are adding more characters. King of Fighters and SNK and Capcom seem to be back in good rapport or relations with each other. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that a Street Fighter character is going to come to King of Fighters 15 or 16, whichever one the latest one is. I think it's 15 though. I know one particular streamer by the name of Maximilian Dude wants it to be Ken specifically. I don't know who it's going to be, but I do have a feeling a character is going to come in there. And because we already got 2 characters coming into Street Fighter 6 from SNK.
Yeah.
They announced SVC Chaos for $20 on Steam with rollback netcode already out, which is a great day. So there's a lot of combinations of stuff going on, but SNK and Capcom doing collabs again is great because that means that there's hope for CVS 3 that people have been wanting instead of having to go through Mugen. So yeah.